Hello comrades, and welcome to part 3, I want to say, of the UFO mod show-off. We're getting into the vehicles now, and because there's so many to show off, I'm going to be breaking up the vehicle show-off into 3 parts as well. So we're starting with Part 1, this is air. We're going to be covering the air, BTRs, artillery, cannons, and the cars. And again, because there's so many, it's going to be a long video for each part. It might not sound like it, but it is. So let's get right into it. We have the selection of helicopters here. We have what is this, the Chinook, right? And if you're wondering, these all work. That's some pretty awesome looking helicopters that I haven't seen before in mods. The fact that these all work without crashing or any, issues. They don't go straight into nosedives. They don't have any weird glitches of any kind. And 3 different variants here. You got the unarmed, heavy cannons, cannon rocket, just rockets. This unarmed SWAT helicopter, it's like a transport one, be pretty cool to use. We got some from Call to Arms, an unarmed variant. It's a German helicopter here. The stands are missing. It's an issue then already. Well, not a big issue, but here we have the Japanese Huey. What's also cool is that all these helicopters have a whole bunch of textures for different ones. You got like Italy, Norway, Sweden, so each faction will be able to have their own one styled out for them. So yeah, like all of these will have different textures to fit different factions. So you got like this one, this is the Polish helicopter, an armed variant, I think it's the W3W. With the unarmed variant, a German police skin on it. Could do like a cool thing with German SWAT, Here we got another Polish one. Much bigger, different from the other one. Here we have the Mi-24 Super Hind. And it's different as this, instead of big circles, it's these like weird blocky like things on the front. I have no idea what they are. Not really sure. I mean, this thing is like just much bigger than the Mi-24, so I'm not exactly sure what it is, but like it has this large front cannon here, massive amount of rocket pods. Getting onto the American equipment now. We have the different AH helicopters. I don't know the name for them, but these are all the different variants. This is like an older style of it. Big rounded cockpit. This must be a more modern variant. We got this guy here. You even got a back machine gun here. So you could have it loaded full of troops, and then you have this thing flying around. And what's cool is that the helicopters, they will target ground forces. Sometimes you have to like manually fly them, and other times you have to you can let them fly in circles and it'll take them a little while, but eventually they'll recognize enemies and they'll start shooting, which is pretty awesome. We have the armed Mi-17 variant here, the normal Mi-24 Hind. This here's the Mi-24 something. It's obviously different. Really weird looking. All these crazy different types. I think these are the KA or KAH-50. Here we have the Mi-8 MT. This thing has massive difference from the normal Mi-24 and Mi-17. It's like all these like heavy cannons, rocket pods and stuff. Massive. This like crazy Russian design of like double set of heli blades, propellers. There we are. Just crazy fast, I'm sure. Here we have the Osprey. The V-22, I think is what it's labeled as. We have the Blackhawk. This is quite cool. Instead of the cannons sticking out to the side, you have them kind of like leaned out of the side turret. Kind of like for forward fire. This is obviously like an armored variant, so it's got rocket pods. Got the machine gun here. I don't know what this large stick thing on the side is. I've seen it before. I have no idea what it does. When I lived in Vermont, the international airport at the city I lived in, it was shared with the military base, and so we'd see either Blackhawks or F-16s and stuff flying off quite often. This is like a futuristic variant of a helicopter. Don't know if it's a real one. I think it might be from like some sci-fi thing. Not sci-fi. Well, maybe like sci-fi futuristic series of some kind. We have the Huey Venom, I think is what it's labeled. This is the English skin on it. It's got the rocket pods. There's a whole bunch of different skins for these helicopters. Got the UH-1, I think. This is cool. The machine guns are kind of angled outwards, so to like kind of fly in for like forward strafing runs. Textures and stuff done on these are really nice. Here we have the Canadians. This is the gunship variant. It's got the machine gun there, the rocket pods. We have just the normal variant with the machine guns sticking straight outwards. Same with this Blackhawk here. Just the normal machine gun sticking out. This is the Australian Skin, in case you couldn't tell. The Kangaroo. This is the transport variant and unarmed. Here we have the, I think it's like the Little Bird. This is the transport kind. The soldiers, when they mount this, I think they don't sit. They kind of do. They're like crouched and they're able to fire. If you get them to angle correctly, they'll start shooting. They're very exposed and they'll die quick, but it's quite cool if you can get them to shoot a few times first. Here we have the OH-6, I think, and this is the armed variant and the unarmed variant. Again, if you want to do like some kind of police raid thing in a city map of some kind, you could definitely do that. You got a sheriff skin there. Here we got the different types of blackbird or little birds. We got the I think this is the Hydra. No, this is the Maliuka. This is the Hydra. This is the toes. This is just the standard rocket pods, and this is the MK-19. The little grenade launcher bits there. What's funny is it is a North Korean skin. I'm not sure why they have those. North Korea could have stolen some, or stolen the blueprints for them. I don't know. Quite interesting. Got the other style of Chinook. It's nice that the inside is detailed. It's like actual seats. It's not just some kind of ugly, just barely painted in thing. You know, detailed seats and stuff. Kind of like this one. It's just hollow. I mean, I think this is kind of accurate to the actual thing. So, anyway, this is the Aeroflot design on it. The unarmed variant. Very cool. And so now we're moving on to planes. We have this little drone here. What's cool is you don't have to place anyone in it. Oh gosh, that's too loud. I'll show that off later. We have an Argentinian plane. The French, or not too sure. Very cool. Czech. Very small, just rocket pods. The different Chinese planes here. What's cool is the different skins. It's not just the plain white for all the planes. Or the English Harrier. No, that's not the Harrier. Harrier's further down. I'm getting confused. If you can name any of these fighters, it'd be impressive. Aside from the obvious ones. It's very cool. Here's a little Harrier. I think these are the ones that they can take off and land vertically. Or this like weird thing where they can like slow themselves, where they're like almost into a hover. This is the Eurofighter, possibly. No, wait, Tornado. Is it Tornado? We got a little civilian jet. It's just the plain blank skin, so I could probably make some textures for it. If anyone in the Wasteland series might want to have one that's like salvaged from their faction, I don't know. Could have an interesting backstory to it. Here's the Eurofighter? No. Moving on to different styles here. And again, these all have like unique skins. So not just the ones that you see. So it's very cool, the amount of variation. We got like an East German skin. I haven't played War Thunder in years, but I know that the jets have come quite a way, as well as tank warfare. They have some pretty modern stuff now, which is cool. I'm still at like tier 3 or whatever from World War II stuff. Like just breaching into the late 40s, early 50s tanks. Little MiGs here. MiG-17, MiG-15. And there's different variants too. There's bomber, there's strike, there's ground support. There's this wacky looking plane I've never seen before. I think it's a bomber. This one too, it's a US Army plane. It's like a torpedo or something. Could definitely have come from World War II. We got the modern F-30 something. I want to say F-35? Can't be certain. Just another cool few variants. This weird little checkered flag style. It's not a texture error, it's the actual paint job. We have the crap, what is this? It's the A-10. There's a name for it, a very creative name. Anyway, it's like a real beast of a plane. Like, look at how fucking armored it is. There's also a gray variant, but I like the green better. Looks nicer. Another crappy little World War II, or not World War II. Like Cold War era plane, 50s. Here's the F-35. Here we go. I've seen these, the F-16s. They'd fly off all the time at the airport. They're super loud. Where I worked at Trader Joe's, it's near the flight path, so you could hear them. You could even see them. It was kind of cool. Sometimes it was kind of annoying. Got some more Soviet planes here. Old ones. Some more modern. This Su-27 or Su-33. I think this is the Su-25. It's the North Korean version of it. I know that the North Koreans have some. It's hard to really class them as modern jets, but they are from like the 2000s and like the late 90s. They're not great, but they wouldn't do too terribly in a fight. I think this is the Su-27. It's a big Soviet plane. You guys all know this one. This is the Su-25, the Frogfoot. This is the Soviets' response to the Americans' A-10. Built for like really heavy ground strike capability. And what's funny is that when MH17 was shot down, Russia tried to claim that it was this plane, a Ukrainian National Guard fighter jet, the Su-25, shot it down. I'm like, you'd have to you couldn't fly that high to begin with, but like, you'd have to be pretty accurate and you'd have to get really close to be able to properly hit with the amount of missiles to take it down. Here's the, I can't remember which plane this is, but it's got a Ukrainian skin. Ukraine's Air Force uses this navy blue kind of camo, as well as this the white and black texture that you see from the Nobody Except Us mod. It's very cool, I like it. I personally like this color of blue, the different shades of it. Looks great. This Russian fighter jet, this is like one of their more modern ones. Texture error with the missiles, unfortunately. Maybe I can look through the files and fix that. We're getting onto the massive planes here. This is Chinese version of like a AC-130. It's a massive thing. And these, again, they all fly. They have damage models, so when they get hit, they'll break apart and stuff. Here's the proper AC-130. What I want to learn is how to script and get vehicles and stuff on the inside of these, because I remember watching a video on how this person got these planes to fly and they drop out a vehicle and have this parachute on it. This little carrier thing. I have no idea how it worked. Here we go. We got this massive Boeing. There's no wheels for it, unfortunately. But it does fly around and it does break apart. The wings will break off and all that. It's great. Got some bombers. It's kind of strange that bombers are still a thing, but I guess since they're able to modernize enough. Although I do find it ridiculous for this mod to have such massive bomber planes. We probably won't be seeing them much in action, but I'll find a way to give them some usage. Got a large Russian bomber. A Chinese one here. Alrighty, let's move on to artillery. Alrighty, let's see. We got the Unimog, this launcher piece. Technical with the missile on the back. It's from Call to Arms. It's like a little technical grad. I like how it has little sandbags to hold the thing in place. Because obviously just standing it in the back, you know, it caused some backfire. Let's see. This is a Brazilian vehicle of some form. I can't remember the name of it. Quite powerful though. Let's just do a quick firing of it. Oh, you can't, that's right. That's because you have to load it up. This is Canadian LAV of some kind. Mortar in the back. The Donna. This is a Czech artillery piece with the Georgian Skin on it. This is it's similar to the Donna, but it's obviously much larger. Honestly, I didn't write down the names just because there's so many to memorize and whatnot, but we'll just look at these and admire and appreciate the wonder that they are. There's just a whole host of different skins, as I said again. Like this right here, this is the Armenian Skin, but it also has a plain green skin, this artillery piece. It's a Chinese launcher of some kind. At the Chinese BTR with a, or not BTR, APC with a mortar in the back. Massive missile vehicles. It'll be interesting to find a way to use them. I want to fix the textures on this one here, but this one looks nice. The, let's see. This Chinese version of the Hummer with a, or not the Hummer, the Humvee with a artillery piece on the back. Quite creative, very cool looking. And a Ural grad, or the Chinese grad thing. It's got little seats here. It's armored plating, that's pretty good detail there. A few other multi-launch rocket systems, MLRSs. Heavy artillery pieces. See, more APCs with artillery guns fixed on top instead of the normal turret. I like this white, blackish green texture right here for the vehicle. That's nice. Got an American artillery piece. Got this another MLRS. It's a Chinese one. Very nice. More kind of mortar launchers and like little mobile armored carriers. You have this Finnish tank of some kind. It's like their APC with a massive doubled artillery turret thing. You know, in case you want your enemy extra dead. Oh, I take that back. That would be this guy. It's a French gun of some kind. Thing must have a massive range in real life. Smaller one here. I think Ukraine has a similar mobile howitzer piece like this. I think it's called the Bogdana. I think they created it in 2016 or 2017. Very cool though. Could improve the texture a little bit. It's not terrible though. This is cool. It's like a really big mortar piece. It's not just like a small little mortar mounted in the back. Very nice. Like 50 cal on the front there. Some German stuff here now. Look how they have a little turret for this truck. This thing looks like it could be from World War II. Yeah, what's it? Oh, is that like little Panzer thing that had that weird kind of like rounded turret, and you could only change where it was looking by turning the whole vehicle. Hetzer, that's what it is. It looks like the body of a Hetzer with a mortar in the back. Some Israeli equipment now. Very interesting. Got another multi-launch rocket system there. Another very heavy mobile mortar piece. Very cool. Another multi-launch rocket system. On the, I think the body of a Sherman, World War II tank. It's quite surprising how many different World War II vehicles, you know, like parts and stuff, are still used to this day. Like, it's like I watched a video recently. It was a good number of naval vehicles from World War II that are still in active service, and there's one Russian vehicle from it's like 104 years old, and it's still in active service, which is crazy. Here we have, oh crap, Rohan launchers, I think. I can't remember. But you've all seen this before. Russia loves to display this in its military day parades. Oh, it's a massive thing. It's going to cause some major lag when it's fired. There we have a BTR-80 with a artillery piece slapped on top of it. The MSTA, I think, is what this one on the right is. This here's the Tornado, so it's like the modern version of the Ural Grad. Maybe it's faster or better in some way. Here we have the Striker, I think. Mortar piece in the back. LAV with the mortar piece in the back. Some US multi-launch rocket systems. This one has the Canadian Skin on it. I believe this one in particular is from Battlefield 4. You could, like certain maps, you could hop into it, and very nice. Got some massive artillery pieces here. I think this is one of the North Korean guns, or they have something similar where they used it. They could fire, I think. I can't remember which gun it is, but it can fire from Pyongyang and hit Seoul. It's crazy, some of the range of these artillery pieces. Here we have some Swedish artillery. You don't see that often. We got South Korean rocket launch system. Some other mortar pieces. German grad system here. The Polish stars. Stars. This guy here. We got this Rograd with a cannon on the back. Very simplistic. It's the North Vietnamese army. Or I guess maybe just the Vietnamese army now. Here's some Korean stuff. Very interesting looking truck thing with track bed and wacky looking artillery piece. These massive guns here. Multi-launch rocket systems. Here it is, I think the Koksan artillery piece. Very large. Some other stuff, a multi-launch rocket system. Very cool. We got some Yugoslav equipment, something we don't see often. Got this, I think this is like just from World War II. This artillery piece. Got some pretty unique stuff here. I might work with a comrade of mine and see if I can port some of these vehicles over to Rise. Because the proper Yugoslav faction having these vehicles would be great. Alright, we're moving on to the BTRs. Here are the LAVs. It's like SAV or something. These are under the Canadian tab. It's a little radar piece here. M113 with different turret style. There's a good number of those in this mod. I mean, you'll see them obviously, but there's like one with a flamethrower attachment. There's another with, oh crap. There's another with, I'm just looking for something, knocked it with my hand. Yeah, you'll see. Here's this hilarious little ferret, I think. Like Ferret Mark 1 or something. Here we go, got some more M113s, different turret types, some Milan launcher on it. The, that heavy Gatling cannon thing. I love the sound of it when it fires. It's beautiful. Some other variants too. Need to texture that machine gun on top. Another interesting Canadian vehicle with an Australian skin on it. Like a tow launcher piece on this one. Another little ferret MK7 thing. This is probably from the 50s and no longer used. And even if it is, it's probably like a recon of some kind. Very cool vehicles. The Czechs, the OTPB 60, little rocket launcher piece there, or anti-tank launcher. The OT 64, I think. A few others. Very cool looking. This looks like a the skids are fast half track. But it's like modernized, which is quite cool. Like anti-tank launcher piece here. More variants of the OTPB 60. This heavy cannon, you got a machine gun. Some other stuff here. You got the Chinese set of BTRs. This one has the BMP-1 turret. Very cool. There are versions of the BMP-1. It's like the ZDS
K3 or something. This looks like just like a standard BMP-1 with like a slightly different shaped turret. This one here is a Chinese variant of a cannon of some kind. Very cool stuff. This is like their version of the BMP-3 or 4. It's massive in terms of the armored personnel carriers. Just look at these. These are some of the no, these are still the Chinese ones. Just different launcher types and stuff. Very cool. We got some Norwegian, or no, not Norwegian, Denmark. They share a history, but Norwegian and Danish is different. Much like Ukrainian and Russian, people might say it has the same history and same language, but it's different. You just gotta look. I don't know why this is in the BTRs, but it is. There's no gun on the inside. Maybe it was a mistake. More really nice M113 with a different style turret of some kind. The FV4, or like the Warrior, I think. Anyway, it's a British vehicle. This Cougar, or no, Ridgeback. That's what it is. Got the A10 Saxon. This is cool because this one has the turret on it. A lot of times the only mods I've seen it in, it's been closed, so it's like a recon or like command vehicle style. This one has a gun on it, which is quite nice. So there are other smaller, this is a really wacky looking one. You see that it has a cannon there, but it's just this massive flat looking boxy thing. It's ridiculous. More stuff here. Warriors, FV3s. Got the Finnish vehicles, their version of the BMP. Some French stuff now. The VAB, I think, is this big one right here. Here we have the Crab Launcher. I don't know if this is actually French or if this was meant to be in a different tab, but very cool regardless. Some APCs, we got the VAB with the hot launcher, or the HOT. It's got like an airborne, like it's very blurry. It's like supposed to be an airborne marking of some kind, I'd say. Some other very cool variants. German stuff. Stuff from Call to Arms. Cold War, I think. Not too sure about these guys. Very cool though. Stuff that you just don't normally see. Here we go again with another one that looks like the Hetzer, or similar to the Hetzer's body, but with a just restyled turret. This is from Call to Arms as well. I remember looking at it, thinking how weird of a gun it had. But it's very cool. And then these tiny little, I think like weasels or Vizels. I think it's just weasels. Some Israeli stuff here. The AZTR, I think. BTR 40. Definitely World War II era. Very cool though. Their version of the M113, one with like an armored skirt. Quite cool. Without. Big Atgm launcher of some kind. 50 cal, you know. So you can have all around fire, I guess. Large turret. All around fire with the skirt on. This is the... I can't remember this one, but this is one that you can shoot in every direction and you wouldn't really have to turn the turret too much. Pretty cool. Seems like thrown together, kind of like a Mad Max kind of tank thing. Pardon my yawning. I've been up for quite a few hours. I'm working on another interesting video. If you've seen my screenshots on Steam, you might have an idea of what it is. If not, it'll be a surprise to you for YouTube. This is cool. Double rocket pod thing. North Korean stuff here. Very weird looking APC, but I guess if it works, you know. Got an ATGM, or no, Malyuka rocket, and then 4 little missile pods of some kind. Very nice, very nice. These are, crap, I can't remember the nation that has these. Poland. Rosemark, that's what these are. The different Rosemarks. And this is actually the same one. I placed them twice. Whoops. Very cool though. We have a BRDM body with their own style turret. Here we have South Africa, I think, with the Ratel 90. Some South Korean stuff. There we go. I think this is Denmark or Sweden. Sweden, yeah. Very interesting. I think that some of these vehicles are from Wargame Red Dragon. Got some Turkey, or vehicles from Turkey. These are obviously pulled from Call to Arms. They're part of like the United Arab Forces or something, UAF. Here we have some US vehicles now. And this wacky looking skin for the Marines transport vehicle, the amphibious kind of landing vehicle. I can't remember the name. Oh, but it's very common. But this is like a South Korean skin that just looked wacky, and I figured I'd slap it on. Here we have the leather striker variant. Oh god, pardon me. I gotta invest in some sleep. Here we go. Another M113 with a anti-tank launcher. Here we have the variant with the flamer. Very weird looking boxy shape, I guess. Different M1A2s or M2A2s. With the Grib, I think is what this is called. It's a normal variant. One with a heavier single firing cannon. It's like an auto cannon. Anti-tank launcher, one without an anti-tank launcher. This weird vehicle thing that reminds me of the Bob tank. Maybe it's just a recon or command vehicle of some kind. Here we have the VZ-100. This is the Venezuela variant. This is the Turkish variant. Can't remember these ones. This is like something similar to the Striker. I think M1249 is this desert camo one. I can't be specific. I'm doing this all from memory just because writing down each of the vehicle names is just way too many. But another all firing around turret thing for the M113. Oh, this is cool. This is a anti-tank launcher with the 50 cal. Very cool. I think this is the M1A2. I think the other one was the M1A2. What's funny is that they had this at Trump's like celebration to America or whatever for July 4th. And it was funny because people were complaining and getting angry that they were using tanks. And I looked around because I didn't watch the event live or anything. It's funny, I looked around and I'm like, so where's the tanks? And I finally found a clip where they showed this one just being reversed. And it was backing up and it was just parked next to the stage for the whole event. And that was it. It was just one of these guys just sitting there. I was like, really? That's the massive expenditure of using tanks? Really? I mean, this looks ridiculous. Another Mad Max tank factory kind of thing. Very cool though. I'm sure it'll, if any of you guys for Wasteland series, if any of you see any of these and you want it, either you give it out by name or you can screenshot this and you know, send it to me on the Discord, as some of you have already done with other stuff. I am working on that. I will do a little showcase of the factions that I have put together, like Scorchan and all that. Here we have the different BMPs for the Soviet Union, or for Russia. Or East Europe, not specifically Russia. BMP-3. I'm glad they included this. They have the normal variant and then one with a bunch of armor plating. Got the BTR-82A from Call to Arms. Very nice though that the guy managed to make a few more textures for it instead of using the woodland, winter, and sand textures. We got the BTR-90. BMD-2M or A. It's just basically an upgraded version of the BMD-2. It's got these rocket pods here. Very cool. Something we haven't seen before, the BMP-4. I think a much more modern one, obviously. Some texture issues there, I'll fix that though. This is the BMD-3. It's a bit confusing, almost sounds like the BMP, but no, it's BMD. I think the only other mod that includes it is Cold War. BMP-2D. It's like a souped up variant. It's got grenade launcher, it's got the main autocannon, it's got the rocket pods, it's got this extra side skirt shielding. I can't remember the name of these ones. Very cool though. Another BTR-90 is like the upgraded variant. Rocket pods, camouflage. Here's the Spurt, or Spurt. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce it in a certain way, but very interesting. T-15, I think, is what this is called. This is like a really modern and new vehicle. Here we have the Ukrainian BTR-4E. There we go. Got the launcher there. I don't know why they had it, but they had the CRAS in the BTR section. Still very cool though. Only one texture, so I might fix that. Here we have the BMD-1. For some reason, it's automatically set up to be aiming its turret like that. BMD-2. And again, these two variants are only used, I think, by the airborne detachments of Ukraine, Belarus, and I think most other former Soviet nations like Russia and all that. We have the BMP-1 with the Malyuka launcher on top. BMP-2 autocannon. Conquerors, or the PTRU. I don't know. Oh, so this is the Armenian Skin. This is the Georgian Skin. I really like the textures for it. It's nice. BRDM-1, Atgm Launcher. These are like the old variants. Very cool. Here we have the other BRDMs, the more modernized ones. Found this interesting as the European flag and all that. I remember there was something a few years ago, it was like mention of Europe wanting to do its own not national army, but like a European Union coalition force of some kind. Something similar to what the UN is, but I guess something that's actually effective. I don't know. BRDM-2 with the Atgm launcher. This is the old style Malyuka launcher. I watched Red Dawn like a week or two ago, and they actually had this guy sitting in the background, which I thought was kind of funny that they'd include that. I was surprised by how accurate some of the equipment was in that movie. It's a very cheesy 1980s anti-communist kind of propaganda movie, but it's just good fun to watch. Here we have the BTR-60. It's nice because this vehicle has a few textures in Cold War, but for all other mods, it just has a plain brownish green texture, and it's really just ugly. But this one, nice enough, has a good number of textures and stuff for it. Like even the opened up variant like this. This is like the Oman Russian police force. Here we have the BTR-70. Same thing like the BTR 60, very few mods have any good variation of skins for it. Let's see, Blue Dawn had a good number of ATO skins, which was nice looking. This is the Georgian one, there's got some right in there. But all other mods, it's just this ugly brownish green color. And like just looks ugly. Here we have the BTR 80. And I think this is the other one from Call to Arms as well. Nice enough to have the guy put some proper skins on it. This is the Armenian Skin. Very cool texture for the Armenian army. I don't know if this is what they actually use or not, but still, it's nice. The MTLB. We have a BTR 40. A really souped up armored car of some kind. Here we have the BRD, I think, or BR something. A little launcher piece, one without. It's like a logistics recon kind of vehicle. Here we have the BTR 70 Zalo. So it's the chassis of a BTR 70, and they just slapped on this massive turret. Because sometimes you just run out of ideas for innovation. Let's see, can't remember the name of this one, or this one. Very cool though. I got some Venezuelan equipment. Not sure what flag that is though, but it's under Venezuela, so. Very nice. Here we got the Yugoslav equipment. Again, it would be nice to see some of this ported over to Rise of Nationality. And Rise of Nationality for a while had this one with the circular rocket pods, but it was updated like a year ago or whatever, and that's started to crash and it no longer worked, so you only had this one with the machine gun on it. So again, might work with a friend and see if I can learn to get this stuff ported over, because Rise of Nationality for the time being is dead. My friend of mine, Weasel, we're trying to keep it alive and going with what we can. I've put together a few more factions. I've sent it over to him. He's done some vehicle textures. He added the U.S. Army. Did a great job with it, by the way. I'll make sure that's shown properly. So yeah, we're doing what we can to keep it alive. And maybe even someday get it to release. So we have the cannons now. We got the mortars, different grenade launchers on stands, some heavy artillery pieces, cannons. And you guys can, in Wastelands, you can name any of this equipment and or screenshot it, and you can ask for your faction to get it, and we'll find some way to write it into the lore. What's nice is that the only cannon that I've found that crashes is the M777. All the others, they work fine. No crash issues, no errors. Sounds are good. Which is a rarity to have so much equipment. The only other mod that I've ever seen this with is Interwar. The detailing and just working to make sure that you have as few to no crashes as possible. Also, this is quite a crazy looking. This is the Sentry Gun. So this could definitely work in the Wasteland series. If one of you guys have a base or something, base defense, or even doing a zombie scenario. It'd be cool if this would go up and down, but it just rotates. Got some other interesting cannon pieces. It's nice that they also have a few of them have different texture options. I mean, not that I couldn't make my own, but in case you wanted a specific skin of some kind, I could try my best at it. This massive, weird-looking artillery piece. Let's see, is that's it for that. Here we have some Naval Guns. So if anyone wants to have a special bunker or base or something for Wasteland, and have one of these, a built-in emplacement of some kind. Yeah. We could definitely do that.
Very interesting looking set of guns though. I think these all work without having a, oh gosh, that was loud. These all work without having to need a person in them. We got this one with a launcher piece. Very cool. And we have the last of the cannons. It's Book with a, it's a trailer though. It's a trailer version of the Book launcher. Or something similar to it. This here's the SA-70, I think. Very cool. Alrighty, we're gonna move on to cars now. Let's see, we have... Again, I can't memorize all the names of the cars, but very interesting one here. It's got a machine gun with a the grenade launcher thing on top. Could definitely work for Wasteland. Those like homemade thrown together vehicles. Same with this. This is like the Datsun with a machine gun on the back. The Gazelle, I want to say it is. It's from Metro 2033, the first one. I think like it's like in the opening scene, you're in front of the metro station. Or not exactly the opening scene, but it's like the first time that you go outside. You know, you're getting surrounded by those demon mutant things, and this thing's there. Could be in the turret part. Very cool though. These definitely would look great for one of the Wasteland factions, or maybe each one could use it with their own spray painted emblems onto it with the faction flags. So this police car here would look great. And these Toyotas, the Helix, and just normal Toyota. I like this, is it the Gaz truck? I got this cool van here. I can't remember what mod it was, but it was like years and years ago. It was for Assault Squad, or no, it was for Men of War. It was an Apocalypse mod, and what this guy did was he had a feature where he right-clicked on the car. It was like a mechanic repair feature thing, but once he did, it actually put on this armor all over it. It was really cool. I have no idea how they coded or scripted it in, but it was impressive. It's one of those mods that was so great, but just died off and never returned. We got some more cool stuff here. The weird radar kind of laptop thing. But again, more Wasteland kind of stuff. You have the attack truck. A rocket pod on the back. Very cool. We're moving on to some normal military vehicles. The Tatra, which is a Czech transport truck. Some Chinese vehicles. Another variant of their Humvee thing. Grenade launcher, machine gun. Got these Milan launcher. I'm trying to speed through this because I know the video is probably stretched into about an hour or so by this point. I know people don't really enjoy that, so this cool kind of vehicle could be like a police vehicle of some kind with the lights on it. I don't like these vehicles. I like, but I don't like this bright red dot on them. I don't know how to remove it. If anyone can give advice, that'd be great. Had a cool radar variant. Maybe one of the factions could have built it, or like, you know, discovered it, fixed it up. A whole bunch of possibilities. So again, as I've said a bunch of times already, just screenshot what you want, or give it, or say it by name, and I'll try to figure out a way to write it in for your faction. Bunch of Land Rovers, the MK something. It's a very interesting little desert vehicle. 2 different machine guns. The scopes don't have textures though, unfortunately. Should have to fix that. Got some Polish trucks here. I'm not sure why, but they all have these little blue lights. Got this cool little, what's it? The Honker. Got the Sapper. You also have the military police. You have the medic as well. But I just went with the Patrol Sapsky.
A North Korean truck of some kind. Almost looks like a Humvee as well. Could be from oh, can't remember the game. Homefront. That's what it is. I want to say it's from Homefront. Is the game Homefront? I cannot remember. But it looks something similar to that. Very cool. A whole lot of Japanese vehicles here. The trucks. A weird little launcher piece on the back. The Box 10, I think is what this is called. Grenade launcher, logistics, and machine gun. Got some Fiats. These are the Yugoslav vehicles. Well, they're Italian, but I think the Yugoslavs purchased some. There's like command car, Milan, SPG, normal officer's car thing, transport of some kind. Here we have some Italian vehicles. These two are from Battlefield. Oh crap, I can't remember. It's one of the Battlefields. I want to say Battlefield 3. But there's a variant where it has the Chinese flag here, and it's a brownish camo. Some other very cool stuff. These are Israeli vehicles now. It's transport, patrol car. Again, would look great for Wasteland. If any faction wants to claim it, or if all factions want to use one variant or another. The Raider. Some other stuff here. Unimog. This is the early Unimog. These are the Mercedes. From Call to Arms. Some other stuff here, more Unimogs. The MAN 70s. These trucks here from Call to Arms. Grenade launcher, heavy machine gun variant. The DDR, oh crap. Gaz, there we go, Gaz 66. We got the VAB with the Milan launcher. VAB with machine guns, some trucks here. SPG-9 launcher of some form. Here we go. We got the SPMG-9. Something like that. It has only the one skin, but I could definitely texture it to be for the transport vehicle for one of the Wasteland factions. Here we have the Typhoon, and as you'll notice, one has the atomic bomb in the back. And it's not just a prop, it actually does explode. I fired at it thinking it wouldn't do anything, and yeah, it blew up. It did a proper explosion, which was awesome. With the Kamaz trucks, command vehicle, the construction Kung. This is the old Ukrainian variant. We've seen this one. This is the FSB variant with the machine guns out the side. Would also look great for Wasteland. Here we have the Ifrits from Arma. Grenade launcher, machine gun. Here we have the Tiger trucks. We have the Atgm launchers, grenade launcher, and machine gun. The machine gun and grenade launcher have the Armenian skin, and then the plain green. The Atgm just has the plain green, so I could easily do some textures there. Getting onto some American vehicles here. Very cool. This is one that comes with a trailer piece. It'll be in another video to show off. Classic Jeep. Here we have the Hemets. We got the cover for infantry. We got the fuel. We got the flatbed. The FTV? Or no, not FTV. FMT? Something. It's from Call to Arms. For some reason, most of the Call to Arms vehicles have this one little patch of black and white texture, but it's no big deal. Another good thing for Wasteland right here, this little buggy. Got truck from World War II. The Cayman, I think, is what this is called. The different M1s. Here we have some more stuff with unique skins. Very cool looking. Got Japanese, the Self-Defense Forces of Japan. You have the French skin. It's on all three, but I just figured each one would have one just to show them. We have the classic Humvees. Got the tow launcher, grenade launcher, 50 cal, and they all have their different skins. This is a skin that hasn't been seen before. It's the Venezuela skin. Looks really nice. We got the ATO skin. Here we have the Georgian Cobra, which is actually, this is the Turkish one. Did they texture in the flag on that? No, that's just a fire extinguisher. I'll texture it up a bit. Maybe do it for Wasteland. Other really nice stuff. This thing, the DZ-13, I think, or 3-1. The grenade launcher on top. Very cool. We have more Polish trucks. Command vehicle, medical, or the medical vehicle. Here we have the Scorpion. It has a cool desert camo. Holds some troops in the back. We got a radar variant. Very nice. I do apologize for the rather rushed attitude, but again, it's dragging on for a little while now, and I know you guys get bored, so maybe next video I'll break up even more. The Capucin, the MAZs, different variants. You got a firefighter variant. You have some. They all have different trailers that'll attach. I'll show in another video. Little car there. Here we have another Kamaz, but this one has a different style front to it, and we've seen it like once or twice before, but never been properly textured. There's like 13 different textures for this, so it'll look really nice. The different variations. The Gaz 66. Here we have the Zil 50 with a machine gun, fuel. The Zil 171. Some Urals. Different skin Urals. One with the Finnish skin. Workshop. Georgian. Different UAZs. This is the old Ukrainian skin. Looks awesome. We have the Armenian and Azerbaijan skins. Very nice. We have the Kraz from Spin Tires, I think is what it's called. Again, I've never played it, but it's nice to see that this truck not only gets a few skins, but it also has the Kung variant, the Kung. It's like this command center in the back of it. Very cool. Can't see inside. There's nothing to see inside, but yeah. Gaz something. Finnish variant, North Vietnam variant. Here we have the Ukrainian. Oh, what is it? It's a Ukrainian radar system of some kind. I think it's new to the Ukrainian army. I don't remember exactly, but it's very cool. The Ukrainian Humvee for K4 operations from like the early 2000s and like late 90s. Very cool looking. We have the Dozer, which is the Ukrainian. The different Kamaz trucks. Yeah, Kamaz. No, Kraz trucks. Yes. Sorry about that. We got the PKM, the OSC monitors variant with no machine gun. The heavy machine gun and grenade launcher. We have the different Kraz trucks here. These are actual Krazes. Fuel, engineer, infantry. Here we have the Vodnik. These guys are from Battlefield 3 or Battlefield Bad Company. I know it's from one of the battlefields. Really cool truck. Here we got some more Urals. Another something truck. But that's about it. Oh yeah, this has like armor plating around the front of it. Looks really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's all of the air, artillery, BTR, and cannon and cars. So this is like part 1 of the vehicles. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, sorry that it took so long to show off all, but maybe for part 2 we'll probably chop that up into 2 more parts, depending on how many vehicles there are to show. So again, sorry for the length of the video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this inspires you to get the mod. If you're still struggling to get it, I'm going to try and see what I can do to maybe get it to the workshop. Can't guarantee though. So yeah, without further ado, y'all have a good morning, good day, good night, wherever you are in the world, and see you soon.